Okay, you ready?
Sorry about that. Not for the way I thought.
Okay, I'd like to go ahead and call to order the Town of Fraser's regular meeting for March 2nd, 2022 at 6 p.m. Can I please have a roll call? Holy sh-
Katie Fisher,
Andy Miller,
Eileen Waldo,
Brian Sickbenick, Arnell Quinn.
Katie Souls.
And Philip Vandernail. And I just moved roll call ahead of
Me?
the board. So
Oh,
Board of County Commissioners updates, but and I'm gonna go ahead and do. Sorry, can I switch this up a little? Because I want to move the Board of County Commissioners update after we approve the agenda and the consent agenda. Because we can't really so if we can, with that change, can somebody make a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda with the exception of moving number 1, Board of County Commissioners update to follow approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then for the consent agenda, there's questions about the surety reduction for EMF 12. And I don't know if this was updated yet or not, but so we'll be moving that off the consent agenda and moving that to after High Country Stampede Rodeo. So if we can have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which would then just include the minutes from February 16th, that would be wonderful.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, and now we are at Board of County Commissioners update, and Commissioner Cimino is here in the building, which is great. So thank you for coming. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Vandernail. Yeah, it's still a pleasure to be in person. Nice to see you all. So I want to jump right into a pretty big issue, and that is County Road 522, also known as the Fraser Valley Parkway. And so we had a lot of deadlines with the State Historical Office of Preservation, acronym SHPO, and Corps of Engineers, and we got the cultural survey done. You may have read about it in the newspapers, and they found, where the prisoner of war buildings were and whatnot. And so there's directions now and guidance how to go about constructing the road while preserving the historical significance and recommendations on signage and things. And we're waiting for a ruling back from Corps of Engineers about what recommendations you have to do and make sure we comply. But basically what I'm told is we might break ground this year.
Wow.
It kind of depends on a few things, but it is a possibility. If not, I think all 3 commissioners right now are very much in favor. We want to do the project. We're also talking to landowners, and they're very much engaging with us, not engaging with us. They're meeting, and so that's the progress. It may not actually break ground until 2023, but it could happen this year. So we want to we work really closely with the town of Fraser. With all the development that's going to happen out there by the tubing hills and whatnot, it's that's our motivation to get that road. People can hop onto 5, go down to Red Dirt Hill if they want. They could just hop onto 40 without going through town. Not that we want to avoid Fraser, but that's a lot of traffic, right? So, however, some people might want to, not have to go around onto 5 to get back to Fisher's Bar or whatever. So we're really, really interested in the connections. We hope there'll be some connections with the town of Fraser. I know that's a kind of a tough issue. We think Eisenhower is a pretty obvious likely connection road. I personally think that a connection from the library parking lot would be quite of interest to people. But let's let the professionals kind of look at it, and then the trustees weigh in. You guys are elected to shape the town and build the town. Evening, sir. And so what I'd like to ask is that Ed Moyer is going to complete a few more steps, the county manager, with the landowners, get the final guidance from the Corps of Engineers, and we're going to put some RFPs out and know the costs and At some point, though, he's going to call the town of Fraser and say, can we please have you join us? Your connectors might go through some of that private land. A road's going to, I don't have a map with me, but the road kind of cuts this at the southern, I guess, eastern end of most of those 3 properties, but there's still some private land before it hits town limits. And so your easement might go a little bit on some private land, and you may want to be there with the landowners when our manager's with them at that last stage. So please stand by. I hope the town is open to participate in the process. I hope the connections will happen. And when Ed calls, maybe the other Ed or Michael, whoever you guys want to designate to join those meetings and join those talks.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to be involved in those talks for sure.
So,
All right.
Rich, do you have some preliminary mapping available to get to us possibly, or?
Ed might, if Ed wants to check with Ed. And see, the design may change though, Andy, because the landowners have expressed an interest in more of a curvy road. So it's not a fast road, but still it'll be a usable road. And I think the residents that we're going to provide this road for will be happy to use it and just keep the speed down a little bit perhaps. And we were talking about gravel for a long time, but now the landowners are worried about dust. And so now we're leaning towards asphalt, but those things aren't final yet. But that's we're leaning more of a curvy road, probably asphalt. So we can show what we have, Andy, and all of you, but it may alter somewhat from what we show you.
Yeah, but that's kind of the process too. So, yeah, the earlier everybody gets involved in the process, I think the less controversy there'll be. So,
Absolutely, very open, and you need to see that design to figure out how your connectors go.
right.
For sure. And we're going to require it's going to be an 80-foot for the 60-foot road, and then a good bit of room for a trail for pedestrian bike trail. We're really, it's going to be as big as we can make that, and we hope there'll be a lot of pedestrian and bike traffic.
Excellent.
All right. Otherwise, that's a really big issue. I think that's really going to be, quite a big rock for the town of Fraser over this year as we join those talks in that process. I really don't have any other big issues to report to you from the county. There's been a lot of land use issues coming in, a lot of, lots merging, lot splitting, easements. And it's just a bevy of those. I can't. And we've had quite a bit with Red Hawk Ranch plans and meetings, and we had quite a talk with one homeowners association about the Fraser Valley Parkway where it connects to Tabernash. We had a big 3-hour workshop about that, and I guess I'll share with you guys this connection that we're going to build first right by your town. That's our number one priority. We're not even worried what we call the North Branch, which is like from the ice rink to Tabernash. Like we have the easements, but that's in a good 3 years out. We're not even talking about it till we finish this connection from 723 from 73 to 50. That connection, that's all we're focused on. That's all we're going to do. That's all we're going to pay for. And once it's done, we'll be evaluating a schedule and a timeline, or if we build that connection to Tabernash. Yeah, we've been really struggling to run a bridge is the only note I have. I imagine you've all observed that when it snows, the snow plowers, we just don't have workers. And so we kind of put some things in the newspaper before snow season started back in December, like it's going to be delays. There's going to be delays, folks. And sorry, when it happens, we usually got 40 hours straight. We're trying, but it's not what it normally is. We wish it was better. We raised the pay. We got the job openings posted. We hopefully it's not going to improve this winter in all likelihood, but maybe 2022, 2023 winter will be a little better. Anyway, you might have some questions about the issues you want to ask me about. Do you have any questions?
You got connections at CDOT. The potholes between here and Winter Park Resort are just getting horrific.
Yeah, in the same boat. We do have connections, and they have no employees. And
Same deal as everybody else.
At CDOT's front, though, a ton of federal money coming, from the infrastructure bill, and so Colorado roads are going to get for the next 3-4 years quite a bit of overhaul. I'm hoping we'll see some of that here in our transportation region, and you participate in those. And
Yeah.
Who's going now? Brian's going now. Yeah, please show up to those. Your vote, whoever shows up, the votes tally. And if a county brings 6 towns, another county brings 2, our votes are more. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad you guys take the time to go place that vote. And that's the way to get the resources from CDOT, TPR.
CDOT wouldn't be fixing potholes, though, would it?
No.
In that town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there.
Oh, it's
there
their
for long.
Because it's
stretch.
Highway 40.
But Highway 40 is what she was asking about. And, yeah. Well, that was,
And, I've
Yes,
got
sir.
a few questions, Rich.
Okay.
So we're talking about a joint housing authority. and
Yeah.
So the meeting that was going to happen for that, I guess, has been put off. March 14th, okay. But you and I sat together in a meeting some time ago, and one of the ideas you came up with at that time, which was really good, I think, is that we have some standards for employee housing that have to do with deed restrictions, length of deed restrictions, also for financing. So we're all on the same page, and when developers go for different financing methods, so we can review those. And I think those are some of the really tough questions, but important questions that hopefully that we work out as we begin to join forces. Like Red Hawk Ranch, are there deed restrictions there? How's the employee housing there working out?
there are 3 multifamily units planned that are the desire from the developer is to have them be employee affordable housing units in partnership with Grand County Housing Authority. In order for the housing authority to be a partner, which then gives them a lot of tax breaks, a lot of advantages, is we're going to require certain rules about, well, here's the scenario I describe to people. Like, you would never want to have government involvement in employee housing for one employer. And here's why. Company X, you have an employee there, they're making $20 an hour, which, is good, but you can't live here on that. And then they have an affordable house, that 1-bedroom apartment for $500 a month, for example. And if that employee has some problems at work, a boss that's harassing him or her, and they're not going to complain because they could get another job. There's a billion jobs out here for $20 an hour, but they're going to get kicked out of their affordable housing.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that, if there's an owner, a developer that wants employee housing just for their employees and wants that government partnership, they're not going to get the government partnership. It's going to be rules that it's open for any worker, that you have to be an employee in this area, you have to be this income, but there's no quota for one business or whatnot for that. As far as financing and rates and whatnot, I would just say, Andy, we've got the 2 towns, Winter Park and Fraser in the county, have hired the consultant that's helped guiding us, and they're going to probably tell us, here's what you should do regarding all these different policies and rules. I'm very likely to just default to whatever they recommend, but we'll review what they recommend. And, if you feel differently, we'll sit down as trustees, councilmen, councilwomen, and commissioners, and I'm very confident we'll figure it out. And my goal is to do a ballot question this November for wherever the border is defined as for the Regional Housing Authority, and see if the residents want to get the revenue. I'm thinking property tax. If you saw the sky high poll, it's not looking too good for that. The ones that responded to that. So, but that's just, you need revenue to have this ongoing housing authority, robust housing authority. If the vote doesn't pass, it doesn't pass, but it might. We're gonna do the best we can. But that's my goal.
I think that we were talking about a diverse revenue source too. And it's interesting, the state legislature, I don't think it's quite passed yet, is it? The lodging tax could be put over into other purposes.
It passed the House. It's 11 bill HB 22-1117. Yeah, no, it's so right now lodging tax, the original statute that allowed it could only be used for marketing.
Right.
The voters could pass it. It could be max 2%. What we did for ours was 1.8 is what we asked the voters. Town Winter Park has a separate lodging tax. They don't participate in home rule. So yeah, with this bill, if it passes the Senate, governor signs it, then that restriction, marketing only, is removed. But it is still, it's not like willy-nilly. You can't use it for roads, for example. You have to use it to enhance the visitor experience. So affordable housing does that.
Yeah.
That's what we're all going for. And the county commissioners, we started that bill. We got some legislative sponsors, and I support it. I think it's going to pass. But then the voters will have to, if it passes, then we'll have to, I think it's the BOCC. It may be the tourism board, but I think it's the BOCC decides to put the ballot question on. Do you want that 1.8% to now be available for anything to enhance customer experience? So it's not automatic. The voters have to approve the change.
Right.
and the voters could change it from 1.8 to 1.2 or down if, we'll work with y'all and figure out what we want to ask the voters.
So the voters in the county would cover all the jurisdictions then? Is that how the lodging tax is set up? Other than Winter Park? Obviously.
Right. The borders of it is like all of the county except that Swiss cheese hole of town of Winter Park.
Kind of Winter Park. Okay, so it'd be one ballot question for up in one election.
Well,
I
for the
support it
state.
too, but I think it would pass. I mean, it's just, obviously, the whole premise of it is wonderful that you can bring tourists here all day long, and if they don't have quality experience, they won't come back. And so we don't have enough, we never have enough tourists, but we have more tourists than we can handle. And we need
Many
to-
times.
And we need to handle the tourists that we have and give them a quality experience. So I think we can sell that.
Yeah, the businesses need workers. And so I think that's what needed to enhance the visitor experience. San Miguel County and Telluride, for 2 years, they've been collecting their tourism tax and not spending a dime on marketing.
Yeah,
Literally.
so the bill is statewide though.
It will be permissive statewide. Tourism districts can ask their voters if they want to open up the use. If new ones are put in, the use will be opened up. It is statewide, but you have to take action after to make it happen. If we don't take any action, it stays 1.8% and it stays for marketing only.
Would it be appropriate for the town to write a letter to the committee, the Senate committee that's going to be hearing the bill now?
Yes, absolutely, Eileen. Anything helps.
Yeah.
The state tourism board has always opposed this. There's always been opposition to this because the rationale is that we're a hotel, we're charging tax to our customers only, and I should only be used to bring people to my hotel. It made sense when we put it in place, I think, but it's just the scales have gone so far to unaffordability that I think we're finally ready to we're throwing in the towel. Let's let it be used for affordable housing.
Then another question.
Oh, yes. I mean,
So you're in the process of reviewing a dense development on the outside of town, Byers Peak Ranch. And it appears part of that is going to the county variance board for decisions on some of the land use parameters out there, or how is that working, Rich?
well, I think there is. We are often shielded from that process to keep the different boards objective. And so we're not been briefed on what's happening there. We'll let it go through that separate process. I don't know much about it. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just, to me, it's kind of odd. I mean, a variance board normally, in my experience, has been dealing with a particular homeowner, a particular property owner, a particular instance, a single instance, and not engaged in overall land use planning, which it appears is what's happening at the county level. And maybe that's been the advice of your legal team, but it puts a non-elected board in the position of making large land use decisions that the voters really have no control over. In other words, if you make a land use decision that we're not happy with, then either recall or next election. But
Yeah.
the variance board is appointed by the commissioners, and it's insulated from that kind of public review. So I don't know. It's a process that a lot of people are having a hard time wrapping their heads around. I mean, all of us really hope, and Rich, this is an overall observation that I'm sure you're aware of. Our county land use regulations are sadly out of date. They're very non-specific. Forest and open zone is very inclusive. All uses are wrapped through they were designed and put into place many, many years ago. And we're long past due an overhaul in the county land use regulations. And especially in view of the fact that the county's always kind of been insulated from problems because you guys have always dealt in fairly low density projects. And now you're faced with Red Hawk Ranch, Byers Peak Ranch, these large, Granby Ranch is pretty much the town of Granby.
Yeah, it's not great.
But you're pretty much, you're facing urban land use decisions with a rural land use code. And I don't know, have you guys had these type of discussions or?
We have. You covered a broad area. I support the county redoing the master plan, where a lot of those things are laid out, and a zoning / the zoning overhaul to allow in certain areas increased density. I would say it's not necessarily out of date. I mean, there's just the design was always intended to be large lots, single family homes, a lot of open space. We did not want density, and you don't want density where there's not water and sanitation districts typically. So I'd like to see, I want to create what's called a Grandma Miller zone. Dry cabins can be like permitted. I think you need to do a state bill though to get that. But we did, I don't know if you saw the article, like Grandma Miller's got a pre-existing non-conforming use certified letter from the county. So they have it. They're pretty rock solid safe now with that. But anyway, so I agree with you. I'd like to do a new master plan. I'd like to overhaul our zoning. I'd like to allow more density, more auxiliary dwelling units, all these things. And so I haven't got other, unanimous on the BOCC to do that. We're sitting here in 2022. Perhaps the 2023 budget will include that. I'll push for it.
Yeah, but and the reason I'm bringing this up at a town board meeting is that we've got a dense development on the outside of town that's going to have tremendous impact. And you talked about the parkway, which is great. There's ways we can deal with this, but it's difficult. I mean, and the master plan really addresses that, saying that dense developments next to communities should be annexed.
Well,
Yeah,
Andy, didn't we have a
so-
chance to annex that?
What?
The town voted not to.
That was a different deal. That was
That's
based on a.
That
on
is
an
the
ex-
current deal that we
Okay.
have.
This is,
The town voted not to annex it in. That was the town's choice.
the town voted to not accept the annexation deal that was put on the table at that time, Parnell. So,
Hey,
no, that's,
Well, I'm just
not-
saying,
Hey, Clark, so you cannot, if you want to address the board, Clark, you need to raise your hand and I'll recognize you and then you need to come up to the podium. Okay, thank you.
so an overall discussion. I mean, these are difficult issues. I understand completely, Rich, but or Mr. Chimino. So,
Rich is fine.
That's all
Thank
right.
you, Andy.
but all of us are facing this, and density is the answer to lowering costs for housing. It's one of
Yes.
the main answers. And so
Yes.
we need to do that, but we also, all of us have got to work together extremely diligently to make sure the community still works transportation wise, quality of life wise, as all these issues are approached. So,
In fairness, I think I'm right. I think the original sketch plans for both buyers as well as Red Hawk, I know as a fact, it's where we're at now with the plat is like half the density that was originally.
less than half.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's still kind of dense. It's still kind of, and I think I know anyway. So I think they're not as dense as they were about to be. I also want to there's a notion, I read a lot in the Denver Post of naturally occurring affordable housing is extinct in Colorado.
yeah.
Well, I don't believe that. I mean, it's bad. Things are really bad right now, but I personally want to see the state and where counties and towns can, construction defect laws, like we want safe structures, but I hear there's a 3 nail rule in shingles and trial lawyers will go to townhouses. And if every shingle doesn't have 3 nails in it, that you automatically are subject to lawsuits. And maybe these are horror stories or something, but I think that we could definitely reduce the construction defect laws. Maybe sprinklers don't have to be in basements. We could do things that aren't going to drastically lower costs. We got to whittle it down from a policy side. Subsidized affordable housing only isn't the only solution. We need to approach it from all angles. I just wanted to vent about that.
There's several videos online about how the government's caused the housing crisis more than the public has by not allowing things such as high pressure air systems instead of sprinklers in the facilities, requiring everybody to have 5/8 drywall on all 4 sides of the wall, the shingle issue that you're talking about. Those are all things that have increased the cost of building. And
Yeah,
developers won't build if they can't make a profit.
no.
But then there's public safety.
Right. So I have a magazine article from Steamboat Springs, 1978, 1979. And this magazine cost $1.50 back then. And the headline, the very first headline, 1978, 1979, is housing shortage plagues ski town USA. This is not a new issue.
So
This has been going on for decades.
I was appointed to the
And-
Grant County Housing Authority in 1978, and our mission was to build affordable housing. we built senior housing. And anyway, but that's, yeah, that was what we were charged to do when it was first formed, so.
Yeah, this,
Yeah.
it's just, it's getting kicked down the road and
Right.
I'll send this to whoever wants, but 1978, 1979.
And it gets kicked down the road. I mean,
Yeah.
the Red Hawk Ranch, they had reduced their affordable housing because it was blocking one person's view. And that makes no sense. You shouldn't be reducing heights on buildings for affordable housing because it blocks someone's view. They knew, the people that bought that lot knew the development was coming at some point in their lifetime. And that's what the county has to stand up for, and so does the town. We have to stand up when people want to do affordable housing, not go and attack it and say it's in the wrong location. That's what we as a town need to do, if you want affordable housing.
This little bit kind of love the updates. Commissioner Chimino. Any other updates? Any more questions?
No, and I'm not in a hurry to leave. I don't want to impose
Okay.
on your time. So any more questions is fine. I'm not, there's my last appointment of the day. And I do enjoy honestly talking with you all. This is of the 6 towns, this is the funnest town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rich, thank you.
Rich.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is David Buckley, Board of County Commissioners candidate.
But the agenda
It says
doesn't
7
start
o'clock,
until
too.
7 is our roll call, so.
Yeah, this is technically
Yep.
a work session.
So I can understand.
That's not technically a work session because we already opened. So technically it's our board meeting.
So are we live? Yep.
So David Buckley contacted Ed and myself, asked to be on the agenda, and has not let us know that he did not intend to come to the meeting.
Okay,
So-
well, let's just push, if he shows up at 7, if we last that long, then. And it does say.
Yeah, it does say.
The times are approximate, so.
I
And
will say that item 6A, Adam was under the impression that he would be here at 7 o'clock, so he is not here to make that presentation, although Russell is. I'm not sure if Russell's prepared to make that presentation about item 6A.
We could take a 30-minute break.
Or you want to start, can we do updates?
I was like, Clark can fill that in, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, once again, not from the audience, thanks. So we can turn this into, it's not, the agenda is.
We could
It
have a
was- yeah.
discussion about our rules and regulations for housing, the town, as a workshop.
Well, it's not a workshop, though.
We got Catherine and Russell and
I'm not sure what.
Sarah on. I mean, our code could be overhauled again. The rush we did last time was quick and some things got missed, and Catherine's done a great job of working through it, but there's
It
a lot
was-
of,
Yeah, we knew.
we knew.
It's
We
a-
knew.
The living document,
Yeah, it is.
so.
It is definitely
there
living.
wasn't- It was not rushed. Okay. Okay, does anybody else, maybe we do updates.
Yeah,
Let's do
let's do
updates. Can we, you guys okay with moving that to, let's do updates.
Sarah. you wanna
Sarah's here.
Do an update?
Can you do an update for us, Sarah?
There she is. Hello, Sarah.
She's muted. She's muted.
He's working on it. She can't unmute herself.
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
I just wanted to give you a quick update on Fraser Fire and Ice. I don't know how many of you attended it, but we were guessing that probably somewhere around 400 people attended. We weren't really tracking it. We were just kind of eyeballing it. Everything went really well. We had like one minor complaint the next morning about trash, but we took care of that. Other than that, it went, I mean, I don't know. I know Philip was there, but I didn't run into anybody else. I was kind of running around the whole time in the dark, but we're definitely planning on doing it again next year. And would love your feedback if you attended or if you saw pictures or anything. And Michael, I believe you have some photos for it too, like while we're talking about this.
So Sarah, I was actually being serious. I never saw any kind of link from you. Can you share your screen at all? Do you have anything accessible?
No, I sent it to you again during our meeting too, but that's fine.
I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately.
Okay.
There's
If you
some on
weren't,
the website, as I recall.
It was,
If
I
you
if you
were
weren't
on
there, you
Facebook
missed out.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
was an awesome.
It was
time.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was spectacular. And there, I believe, firmly believe there was way more than 400
Oh,
people there.
Yeah.
Solid.
I would bet there was closer to 600.
Yeah. I would-
Okay.
There was
So
at least
it-
6.
there was a lot of,
You couldn't get to the big fire. That my only thing for small children would be some trash barrel fires going around, or I don't know.
A little more lighting.
Yeah, a little more lighting, some trash barrel fires, some more groups could huddle around the fire because the little kids were fighting to get to the fire because their fingers and toes were cold. That was the only complaint I heard the whole night. And it was parents couldn't keep up with the kids. Was the complaint.
Good. Yeah, it was a pretty simple event to put on, just fire and fireworks and some hot chocolate. So yeah, we're probably going to kind of stick to that format and maybe add some more ice sculptures or something like that.
Yeah, the fireworks were really good.
I heard
the
lots
gas
of good
bombs were
things
amazing.
about it. It did cause some problems with, for Safeway shoppers for the parking.
Hmm.
Yeah, and Brian mentioned the gas bombs, whatever they restarted the fire or something. Those were pretty cool.
That was part of
Were
the
you there,
fireworks
Fran?
display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Those things were awesome.
Yeah, I actually, when I heard the route that the parade was going, or whatever, up with the walk, I don't know if we can call it an actual parade. I was like, why are you guys doing this at the ponds? Because I thought we want to bring this downtown, like onto the mural lot. And there's just no way.
No.
I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, the
it was-
fireworks have to be a certain distance from
Oh, just the amount
buildings.
of people and.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just hugely successful is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
that it
bravo
was-
too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
my
Public
kids are
Arts
all coming
Committee.
back next year for it.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah.
And I'll see them one weekend next year, so that's good.
Yeah.
So did they see any income for the Public Arts Committee come out of it?
No, I mean, it was a free event, so
Yeah.
we weren't,
Yeah, it wasn't pushed. I
It
think.
was, more of a, well, I shouldn't talk for you guys, but I mean, to me, it was more of about, there's not a lot of events that happen in the winter.
Yeah.
And to create some
New fun.
dynamic event that happens during the winter. So, and it'll be bigger next year. Maybe.
Yep, it'll be like the Mural Festival. It just keeps growing.
Yeah, maybe hopefully larger ice sculptures.
Right.
So
Bigger bonfire.
that was
We
fun.
Actually, I missed the bonfire because I got there like 15 minutes late. I guess it
Oh, yeah,
went
you
up
did it
real
right on time.
fast.
You did it right on time. It was up and lit.
yeah, it
But-
went quick.
Yeah, but we were
and-
by the ice sculpture that was on fire, which was amazing.
Yeah, and Irving actually lighted the, I don't know what to call it, the chimney.
Ice chimney.
Yeah, it's-
Sure.
So that was great. Who Olympian local,
Yeah, yeah.
and so that was really cool. It was fun. If you weren't there,
You really
I'm
missed
sorry.
out.
It was fun.
It was.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's
Thank you,
it for
Fran.
me.
Are you sure?
What's the next event?
We have 25 minutes, so
We're starting to work on the Mural Festival already, so that's the next thing.
Do you have the dates for that already?
February, or sorry, not February, August 5th, 6th and 7th.
I'm gonna see if I can log into Dropbox just to show the pictures.
Did you find it?
No, but I'll log in and see if it's there.
yeah, the mayor of Winter Park was there with his family, and he texted me it. I ended up running into him later, but he's like, what an awesome event you guys put on, and
Yeah.
congratulated us. So it was.
Do you want me to send you the link again?
I mean, it's not, I never got it in the first place, so I don't know what's going on.
Let's blame it on Comcast.
Text them.
My computer said I was supposed to be at a meeting in 1979, so it was today. I'm a little late for that one.
Sounds like user.
The link they sent to me.
Go ahead, open it. See what you get, huh?
Goes back to me.
Yeah.
Started beeping.
Hey.
God forbid.
Did you put in one of the share folders in Dropbox? Or
I
just one of
did.
Your personal Dropbox.
They were good. I was sharing them. I bought the big one and it was
Hold on a minute.
Was that a local? Were
In your
those
personal
locals?
They
or
came
box?
from the Front Range, Fort Collins, I think.
It is, because I have more memory on it. But I emailed you,
Try
the
guess
link.
my personal email, michael.brack@hotmail.com. I just let everyone know. what my
The
personal
entire
email is.
world knows your personal email now.
My spam.
Hey, as long as it's not AOL, we're doing all right over there.
1 second.
Blown away on the AOL
Oh, shit.
addresses
All-
people still use.
So many of my friends still have AOL. Used to switch.
I date myself with the yahoo.com for sure.
Yeah.
What are you
People
gonna
still
do?
use Yahoo though.
Well, Yahoo took over my computer.
Hey, Michael, I'm gonna
Mine's
email you that link again right now to your regular email.
My work email.
Yeah, 1 second. And, okay.
It's by 70.
Okay, now I got it. That's the first time I've got it.
Weird.
Pictures.
When it dies, it dies.
So Sarah, was the pack involved a lot in pulling that thing off?
Yeah, it was their brainchild.
That's awesome.
Well, we killed 5 minutes. That's not bad.
Trying to figure out Dropbox.
Yeah.
Is that the artist?
That was one of the guys that works for SNICE. They were the ones that created the ice chimney.
Was that their first ice chimney?
No, they've done it before. They actually do a lot of ice and snow sculpting. There's a big, huge maze at Copper right now. And they were the ones that built that. And they also compete in the big Breckenridge snow sculpture contest as well.
Yeah, we used to have that back in the 80s. We had a snow sculpture contest.
What a great picture. Look at that.
That's a cool picture, yeah.
That is a cool picture.
That's cool.
Thank you, East Grand Fire, for keeping children back.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we need to start the Christmas tree donation earlier, so more people bring their trees.
Yeah.
Drop off spot was there.
Oh, this was the staff thing? Oh, right.
Cool.
That's the Fire and Ice logo.
I had the daddy-daughter dance. I think it's amazing.
Oh.
Nice.
Pretty cool though.
Yeah.
How they pick which kid is gonna carry it?
I don't know. I wasn't at the park when they did that. I don't know if they arm wrestled or what happened.
Fast, the fire did.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's what we saw. As we walked up.
It's
Okay,
nice to
that's
see all the
cool.
snow on the ground.
Where'd you count from your house? Come up the trail.
Yeah, we just walked in.
Donnie?
There's a police throwing something on there.
Christmas tree. Make sure we have to plant a Roman candle. So we take a 55-foot tree, put it in the middle of the fire. Fire crawls up the tree. It's a heck of a flame.
Take a long time for that one to dry out.
We could,
No, you didn't.
fireworks.
What's happening?
The tree will split. That's happening. Yeah, it's split out. That's how ours works.
Oh.
Big, big thing.
Nice.
I had one fire.
Yeah, the fireworks were pretty awesome as well. They had these like gas. Like I, when the first one went off, everybody was like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like, did something blow up? Like, was there an accident? But it's like this
It's like a fireball.
yeah, fireball
Yeah.
would go up and
It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen in the fireworks display.
Yeah. I think I texted you about it. Hey, was there, because I knew you were there. I was like, "Was something blew up?" One of my kids wanted to go get something. I just walked away when we saw it. Like, oh no.
Cool.
fun stuff.
Yeah.
Good job, Pack, and
Yeah, congratulations to the pack and Sarah. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
okay, we've got 7. I'm not sure which.
Well, we
block it
have,
is.
we have more things under updates.
I know, I'm just trying to say
Oh.
we still have.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
19 minutes.
Okay,
So,
Michael's
Churro
next.
break, churro.
March 14th combined meeting and regional housing authority update.
All right, so I will provide an update for that. Just an update for the legal work that's been done for the Regional Housing Authority. We have finished the feasibility work. We are able to do what we want to do. And we have drafted, after several meetings with the working group, which is comprised of myself, Ed, Keith, and AJ from Winter Park, Ted Cherry from Granby, Ed Moyer from Grand County, and Sheena with Grand County Housing Authority, and our legal team with Holland Hart. Multiple discussions, and we have arrived at our first draft of an IGA for the Regional Housing Authority. The March 14th meeting will provide an overview of that IGA, and we'll be having some discussions regarding the formation of the Regional Housing Authority. We will discuss the board composition, term lengths, appointment process, things like that. And then we will get to the exciting ballot initiative discussion to look for funding sources and get some direction and updates on that. So we will also be kicking off the housing needs assessment study. We will have the consultants who are leading that study there at the meeting as well to provide a short, just kind of briefing on what they're planning on doing and their interview process and how they kind of engage with the community and business owners and realtors and different things in the area to extrapolate all the good information. If you looked at the 2016 housing needs assessment study, it's a high quality product, and they do a lot of face-to-face interactions with the community to get that information. So they'll walk you through their methodology. We've hammered out a really good scope that we think will really address what we're trying to do and where the challenges are in the county or East Grand County area. And yeah, we will provide dinner at 5:30, and the meeting will start at 6. So should be an exciting time at the Headwaters Center. And that is a public meeting, so anyone is allowed to attend.
Are we going to see the IGA beforehand, or are you going to present it there?
We will present it there. We will have some discussions over a few of the things that we need some clarification on and agreement on. And then we will provide a final draft for final review to all the different towns, and then look to finalize it from there.
Okay.
Can you go into a little more details on, I don't know, what we're having for dinner maybe? Or- We've got 15 minutes.
Actually, I've got an update and so
I've
does
got a couple.
Oh,
Antoinette.
okay.
So could I ask one question on this one though, before we get off of it is, I really do think it's important as we talked with Rich to look at a diverse revenue source. I think if we go to the voters for a mill levy increase, we better also be telling them we're getting this revenue from other places. Because as a senior citizen and along with other people that are trying to stay here on fixed incomes, we're causing somewhat of the employee housing crisis, but we're not, I think in the long run, we got to keep this an affordable place to live. And the mill levy is forever. And we also, so not only the short-term rental fees that we talked about, Breckenridge managed to sell the Vail Associates a number of years ago, a lift tax on lift tickets. A lot of theirs goes to transportation, to building those parking garages and helping to come up with ways to get all the cars out of town. So, all these revenue sources we're going to need for other things too, and especially the mill levy. Again, we're going to need that mill levy for town infrastructure as well. And if we try to, that one's hard to tap. So I just hope that we can really keep a good view and a good message to the voters that we're going to be trying to get funds out of the industries that are having the greatest challenges, because this will help them tremendously. So.
And Trustee Miller, I would definitely say that is on the forefront of a lot of the working groups' minds, and a lot of the other municipalities too. So just that is something that would be of a good discussion. And yeah, I think it'll be a productive discussion, and hopefully we can come to a conclusion on where to proceed from there.
That's good.
But no, it's definitely a good concern. And we recognize that for sure.
Another place to help cut costs is to change our usage fee for water and sewer. Make the bigger homes pay more and the smaller homes pay less. And
Yeah,
it's
we had that
employee
code for a
housing.
while, so.
Yeah.
Ed, do you want to go?
Certainly. We've received an invitation from the Grand Foundation for their annual gala. It's been in my weekly report for the past couple of weeks. I believe we received 6 tickets. And those are available, but I haven't heard anybody say they'd like to go except for Katie.
Never been.
Oh, you'll have a ball.
No,
That's
I've never
great.
been.
Never
I've
been
never-
to dress up.
No, I've never been to the prom.
Oh
The
my
adult
God.
prom. Come on, here's now.
So
I'm
what
going.
the Grand Foundation has also reached out to us, and if there's any tickets that are not being used, they're asking if we would donate those back because it is limited seating there. We have had at least 3 requests for those. Besides you, myself and my wife would like to go, but I don't want to take that opportunity away from a trustee here if they would
I
like to
got my
go.
own tickets.
I don't do
Yeah, so do
proms.
I.
I don't
Come
have dress
on,
up.
Katie.
It's a
dress up
20s.
clothes.
I
This
heard
is
it's a
it.
20s theme this year.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
Roaring
Roaring 20s.
Roaring 20s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find a.
Any other volunteers? Because we did have Eileen, just 1 ticket.
No, I'll pass. Thanks.
Come on.
Come on.
It's so fun.
That's for, we did have a
It's fine.
staff member make a request as well, so. But we'll follow up on that. But if there's no other trustees or the mayor, thank you very much.
I'll pass.
And what
I've
is
been to
that?
prom enough.
When is that?
I don't have the date with
April
me.
30th.
20th?
Edith?
April 30th.
Yes,
Oh.
it's a Saturday. That's a no.
I'm at a wedding in Wisconsin. No.
Okay.
it's not.
Oh.
We may have 3 tickets left over.
Katie said she would take 2.
I need to bring
Yeah.
a date.
All right.
Yeah, right.
I don't have a date, but
I bet you can find one.
Okay.
I bet you I don't want one.
You take with your girlfriend.
Antoinette had an
You can
update
take
about the
your girlfriend
candidate
with
forum.
Yeah, just a reminder that tomorrow night is the candidate forum at Rocky Mountain Roastery from 6 to 8 p.m. Hosted by KFFR. Steve Skinner is going to moderate the forum.
Will it be on the radio?
So he's hoping to broadcast it live. He just received his equipment to do so. He was missing one piece of equipment, so he's hoping he can broadcast it live. If he's not able to, he will record it and broadcast it at another time. Sarah Wick is going to help us and try to get it broadcast on our Facebook page live.
On Facebook or YouTube? Facebook?
I believe she said Facebook Live.
I think you can do it all.
It's pretty small. It's a pretty small space, so there's not going to be a lot of room for people.
I would guess it won't have a crowd anyway.
Really?
I'm big now.
You never know in this town what you're gonna get.
Okay. Eileen?
Okay, we had talked previously about hiring or having a relationship with a human resources group outside of the town. And I'm just wondering, has anything happened to that?
We've not had a chance to follow up on that one yet.
We've been talking about this since before you were here
Well, before I was here.
and before the interim was here.
It's important, really.
I did talk to Winter Park about who they use for human resources, and they don't have a full-time person either. I did ask if he would consider maybe going in together and finding some way we could partner on a human resource. But it never got beyond that discussion.
But doesn't have to be, there are groups that do this,
I
right?
think a contract basis, yeah, that was more what we were thinking, was that at least have that resource available.
As needed.
So, but on an hourly type basis.
We do have access to employers council that gives us some HR support. And we've had an internal software, the Bamboo HR, which we have used. It's mainly just to tracking payroll and performance reports and such like that, but it's not a true HR.
This is
Well-
designed though for dispute, for people that feel they've exhausted the avenues available to them with you and with our attorney and need another place to go. And that's come up in the past. I'm hoping it's not presently coming up, but I think it really is a avenue that employees should have to go outside the town structure with a complaint or a challenge. So that's what HR, my understanding, there are HR groups that specialize in that for organizations that don't have that.
She's looking
staff.
for something more of a full service, for
Right.
employee relations.
Mhm.
I would say probably advice on hiring and firing and discipline and so forth. Most of those decisions that I'm accustomed to, your employee handbook will spell out, you take it to supervisor, the department head goes to usually there's some time, I don't think ours goes to that kind of detail, but usually the final arbitrator really is the board of trustees,
Yeah.
from my experience.
Yeah. The final arbitrator, I believe, in our employee handbook is our town attorney. And in the past, at least Rod has told us that he's really not trained in that very well.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's more a
Okay.
human resources type person that would be a better last step for an employee. And there again, they're outside the organization. So that I think would be helpful in those type of situations.
And then the letter about the tourism tax.
Sure.
Senate.
Yeah.
What, the Senate, I don't know. I thought I had the information about which committee is hearing it and when.
I'm at the cast meeting tomorrow and I'll be getting more information, but I've also seen the email that's talking about the expansion of the tourism tax as well. I have to go back through my emails to see which one it is, but I can draft up a letter, find out whoever it is that's devoted with, it's a Senate bill or a House bill. And
It's passed in the House, and so now it's going to
Okay.
a committee in the Senate. I don't remember which Senate committee, and it's not an expansion of the tourism tax, it's a redirection
Right.
or an opportunity to redirect the funds.
I'm sorry, expansion was my language,
Mhm.
because right now it's only limited to lodging, but they would expand it to
Yeah, okay.
this other area.
Does anybody remember the number he gave us?
Ended in 1117.
Yeah,
1117, okay,
Mhm.
so then it's, if it's 4 digits, the House Bill 2022 1107,
1117.
1117, okay.
Any case,
Yeah,
in
House
that,
Bill 822-1117.
it seems like that support letter could also go to the governor because he'll be in a position to have to sign it. So
So the article in the Sky High had the bill now has Colorado Senate, where it has bipartisan support from Senator Kerry Donovan, Democrat from Vail, and Senator Don Quorum from Montrose.
But it doesn't say the committee.
No, it doesn't say anything about the committee.
Okay, so we should probably have. Is this, what's the time frame on this? Do we know?
well, if we had the next meeting, we could send the,
Okay,
yeah, support
not that.
letter. So
okay,
It might be a hearing before that.
that's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah.
wondering. Okay, so if it's before that, let's get a letter drafted and signed and
Drafted for your signature.
that would be the.
everybody
direction.
okay with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then any other updates?
I've got a couple. So what's the status of our, I guess we're getting pretty close on this bathroom. Do we have a RFP for hooking this up as far as finding a contractor for the water and sewer lines over to the bathroom or?
According to Russell, the intent was to combine the groundwork and the trenching work for the water and sewer with other town projects. Hopefully get a bigger package together so we can get a better response. But the RFP is not going out yet.
You know, this is March and this is getting late to find somebody for the summer. So really would encourage us to move along so that we get this. We got a DOLA grant that could expire on us and it's very
Expires the end of
important-
this year.
Important, so, yeah. And then coming up on the last meeting here, I would like to say that I really would like to stay involved with the community. Hopefully, as this a huge congratulations on the property over there. I'm not looking for work, but I would be more than happy as a former general contractor, hopefully former sooner rather than later, to help with anything I can do with that process and laying it out and putting it together. And I've had a lot of experience with unusual projects and I hope I could offer some help with that and with the Regional Housing Authority possibly. And then maybe with the Planning Commission if a vacancy ever comes up. So if you'll have me, I wouldn't mind haunting these halls a little bit longer, but so just putting that out there. So that's all your decisions here in the future. So, but anyway, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy.
Any other updates?
He has to show up for the next meeting, though,
Yeah,
right?
he does. Yeah.
The
Oh,
next-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, He's
Well,
gonna
but-
do it. He's gonna get roasted and do a 15-minute speech.
I thought I'd say that before.
Coming up. on-
Link search
Okay,
before
because
we
we've got 2 meetings in March.
I don't know if we're done with
Yes,
updates.
please.
So, does anybody else have any updates?
The April
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
comes up at the
Okay, so let's
Okay,
take a
oh.
5-minute break and then we'll be back. quite sure where we're at. We are at David Buckley. Is where we're at. So if David Buckley, is he online or here or still no David Buckley?
And I heard he's not running for the BOCC commission.
Nobody's running for House seat. So could have used this.
No,
No,
No, not
he's
anymore.
going for, yeah.
He's
House.
moved the House,
Oh,
State House
oh,
now.
really?
Yeah.
Just like that.
No. So too bad.
Is it time for us
Moving
anymore?
target, yeah.
But we're the
Okay,
funnest
well.
town.
Okay.
Said so.
Discussion and possible action, resolution 2022-0302 SCADA to cloud. Adam Cookland is here to give this presentation. Thank you.
Excellent. All right, so SCADA to the cloud, basically. SCADA is our system control and data acquisition, which is our brain for our water system. It automates everything. It keeps records and is basically a big database that automates. Right now, we've had a SCADA master plan going. This is the 21st priority out of 21, so this will finalize it. We've done things like upgrade the PLCs at all of our facilities that have automated controls. We've upgraded our communication systems, and then we got to the SCADA system within the town hall. We intended to make this move last year, actually, but we found out last minute that there's compatibility issues between Apple iPads and the cloud server that we will be hosted on. So that put it off to this year. It's really just a cleanup last step of the SCADA master plan. Why this is a good idea is because currently we're operating off a desktop server that's in the building, and that's a single point of failure. And in this day and age of whatever could happen, we would like to move it to the cloud. Right now, the cloud is our backup and the server is our main hub. So, and this will reverse that situation. If we move to the cloud, even if this building burned down or something, we can still operate from our tablets and keep the automation going rather than running in hand and having to worry about those extra things that you have other things to worry about when that kind of stuff's going on. So this is really just the final step. It's a small ask, and we'll be set up for, well, a good while, I think, as far as, there'll be updates here and there, but we've had a really good effort on bringing this up to standards and current technologies. So.
Great. Thanks. Any questions, comments?
So
Motions?
will it, no, it sounds great. Being the paranoid person I am about hacking and whacking, will if something happened with your cloud-based communications, so this system here, will it kind of stand alone? Could it get could the server here in town hall get hacked if you guys were hacked?
You know what? We're on a VPN right now. It is isolated from the internet, and we do remote desktop connections with the iPad to get into the desktop server. But this will be, being a cloud-based, it's a slightly different setup and connection. It's directly into it through a website, basically, that's exclusive to us. So
then, yes, they are separate, or
yeah. We're not connected to the main server. There is no back and forth. If there was a virus currently, it does not transfer to the SCADA system, and we would maintain that protection. Yes.
Okay, good.
Good question.
Paranoid.
Okay, motion?
No. Not that I know of.
What's the resolution?
To approve resolution 2022-0302, SCADA to the cloud.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, that's been a
Thank
long
you guys very
process.
much.
Thank you for making that all
Run
happen.
back home.
Bring us to the 21st
Okay, next
century.
is the High Country Stampede Rodeo funding request. We did this last year, correct? Around the $200, $300 mark.
Last year, we did a $250 request for them for the banner, get the banner support. Their funding requests have changed just a little bit this year, their dollar amounts, the categories.
So,
Yeah, that banner sponsor level is now
It's
300 this
300.
year.
yeah. round it
inflation.
up. We can, 300 for a banner.
Yeah, this is the only independently run rodeo in the county. The other two are owned partially or
Well,
fully by
The grounds are owned by
the county.
county.
Yeah,
And they
so,
maintain.
yeah, and they maintain. So yeah, that would be nice to support our local rodeo.
Mhm.
Motion?
Do we, I'll move to support local rodeo with a $300 contribution towards town of Fraser banner.
I second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are now at the
$10 agenda. not on the-
resolution 2022-0301, the surety reduction for East Mountain Filing 12. And this was taken off was asked to be taken off the consent agenda for some clarification by trustee Quinn. So
Yeah.
do you want to?
So when I read the letter, it said that there was a punch list that was created in November 18th, 2021. And that they would finish the work sometime this spring. So I'm just wondering why we're reducing the surety when we haven't had any of the work done on the punch list. So that was my question.
Russell?
Hello, good evening, Mayor, trustees. This is Russell Pennington here. So the work that is left to be done is less than the 20% that is, the work to be done is less than the amount of the reduction to the 20%. So the way the SIA reads is we either keep, the way I read it is either the higher of the 125% of the work to be completed or the 20% here. So at this time, we are estimating the work to be completed somewhere in the range of around $132,000 with the 25%. So the 20% is actually coming down to $345,747. So we have plenty of, we're meeting the SIA and we have plenty of letter of credit there to cover any work that is not completed by the developer.
Okay.
Okay.
Answer your question?
It does. We just have denied other people their request for a reduction in surety based on punch lists. So I just want to make sure we're treating everybody fairly.
I can speak to that briefly. Since I've been here, we go through the same process for surety reduction. We look at the surety reduction, what the number they're requesting. We look at the work that they say that they've accomplished. We do inspect that work. We make a determination based on the remaining work, the projected estimated cost of that work. We ensure that cost includes that 125% according to our municipal code. And then we make a determination at that point of the value of that reduction. Now, we don't reduce it below 20% until final acceptance, but it can go down to 20%, provided that there's enough surety left over to do the remaining work.
Okay.
So in the last two occurrences, we'd had one at Mill Avenue, which we determined the work didn't justify the amount of reduction, and we adjusted that up. And this one, again, we determined the amount of work left to do was covered by the reduction. So
Okay. I just want to make sure because it just seemed funny that there was a punch list and nothing had been done on the punch list and they waited until now to ask for the reduction.
part of the reduction request is because this letter of credit expires at the end of this month. And you know, we still have some remaining work to do, kind of running against when he can actually do that work. So we have to renew that letter of credit. And he asked for that reduction at that point as well.
Okay. Further discussion, motions? A motion?
I move to approve resolution 2022-0301, surety reduction East Mountain Filing 12.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Open forum. So this is going to be a quick meeting. Maybe.
Maybe.
A bunch of people. Okay, so this is where the public gets to speak, address the board, and you will, if you'd like to do so, raise your hand here in. Only one person here. Come up to the podium, state your name, if you live in the town of Fraser or not, and you get 3 minutes to address the board. Anybody here in the building? No hands are up digitally. Anybody online? You can raise your hand digitally. Okay. That's it.
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
7:15.
Thanks.
You did good.
I couldn't remember last.